get cracking.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dota 2 Champions League, where we got Meet Your Makers facing up against KIS in this two-game series. My name's Capitalist. I'm going to be host for this evening. We got just a ton of matches to get through today. We've got 3 different two-game series, all in the D2CL. Meanwhile, Toby's casting on Join Dota Red. He's got a bunch of ESL matches. Join Dota is very busy right now. Let's get right into it, guys. We already have the draft underway. KIS versus Empire. We got Naga Siren, Batrider, Invoker, as well as the Lycan, all being banned away. The Centaur, as well as the Shadow Demon, was picked up by MYM. Pretty common tactic. Just in 6.80, it was already being picked up towards the tail end. Now that we're in 8.1, it seems like that combo is here to stay as a good, solid 1-2 punch. We're going to see the Ember Spirit picked up by KIS. Interesting that MYM was willing to give that a one away. And they're going to combo it with the Treant Protector, which is a favorite for KIS. Just because of the fact that being able to run that Ember Spirit and then combo it up with a Living Armor, Ember Spirit then has not only Flame Guard to be able to protect himself and his squishy health pool, but then he also has Living Armor ticks. It's a great tactic that allows Ember Spirit to be just that much more aggressive going into the mid game. So, exciting stuff all around. Sorry, I'm just messing with my audio a little bit. I think I was a little bit too hot. I am going to be solo for today. I'm going to be trying to bring in some co-casters later on as we get into the evening. But unfortunately, it is just a little bit too early for most of the normal co-casters to be available right now. So, we're doing a good old-fashioned solo cast. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, guys. Ancient Apparition being banned away by Meet Your Makers. Don't want to leave that in the hands of KIS, especially mixed in with the now. Like, I'm not a big fan of running such a lack of disables. If you combo up the Ancient Apparition with Treant Protector on the side of KIS, I'm not really a big fan because then you don't have any big disables. You don't have any way to really punish offlaners a whole lot. However, when you mix that with the really early mid-game aggression of an Ember Spirit, it's all right. You know, you can let the laning phase go through. You can let the offlaner pick up some experience because you know Ember Spirit is not going to waste much time in his quest to start moving around the map and shutting down heroes. So I would be okay with that, honestly. I would be okay with it. Luna, as well as the Muranos, the two cat ladies, going to be banned out by KIS. Makes sense. Don't want to pair up the Murano with the Shadow Demon, and the Luna as well, just being a really strong carry right now. Could add in some really good pushing potential for MYM. Meet Your Makers, meanwhile, they banned out the Lich, knowing that KIS, they might be favoring that double armor strat. We have seen it before in 6.80.1. But honestly, it has not been ultra successful so far. It is like, it's just like a total lack of disables, a total lack of burst damage coming out from both of those supports that it's a serious detriment. Even if you are able to like protect your towers for forever because of Frost Armor as well as Living Armor being applied to them. It's still kind of ridiculous. We get a good hookup here with the Shadow Demon. Sand King is going to be grabbed. So MYM, they have two different options here. Shadow Demon works really well with both Centaur as well as the Sand King. So occasionally we have seen aggro dual lanes with the Centaur Shadow Demon. It's one of the better combinations out there. Very strong just because the threat of a disruption and then the combo up is pretty scary. But more than likely, it's going to be a defensive trine lane here. Shadow Demon just trying to punish the offlaner as much as possible, keep him out of experience range, and then the Sand King will be trying to stack, maybe come in for a kill once or twice, but stacking and then farming it up with a Sandstorm and getting that fast Blink Dagger that we love to see. KIS, they're going to get the Darkseer here. So taking that one away, potentially away from MYM. I don't really think they wanted to run it, but also just going to be a good, solid hero here with the Overgrowth. Just being able to run down a Vacuum overgrowth them together, and throw down the wall so they can't actually move. Those illusions get the chance to just beat on them. Having some sort of AoE disabled is usually the most important thing when you're running a Darkseer, and Treant Protector is definitely going to have a big advantage there, but the Ember Spirit as well, while he doesn't really have some big AoE to be able to control those heroes when they are grouped up, once he has a Battle Fury, that Sleight of Fist is going to do a ton of work because it's this like it's this build of damage where the tighter group of enemies, the more enemies there are in a small little area, the more effective Sleight of Fist is, because you're hitting every single one of those guys, and every single one of those guys is splashing to the other. So you actually get, like, if they actually are staying there, you're actually getting, 7 different procs of splash damage as well as the original hit on one hero. It's an insane amount of damage. It's why Ember Spirit is so effective at being able to farm Ancient stacks, because you have so many units clustered together that he's able to farm it that much faster. The more units that are grouped up together, the faster he can farm it. Storm Spirit's going to be picked up now by MYM, so even more initiation and mobility for them. They already have the Centaur with the Blink Dagger. Sand King as well was going to be getting a Blink Dagger. Hell, even Shadow Demon is decent initiation 99% of the time with Disruption. So we just have initiation galore here for MYM. Roxkiss, they're going to be the ones playing a lot more counter-initiation, I feel.
5 seconds remaining.
You're going to have the jump in by the Storm Spirit trying to pick off one hero, the jump in by the Centaur.
Reserve time.
And Roxkiss are going to try and stop that, counter-initiate with the Darkseer, with the Overgrowth, with everything else they have to throw. It's less likely that they'll be the initiators. MYM have just so good jump right
10
now
seconds remaining.
that they really should be the ones controlling the tempo of this game. But Roxkiss, they've already got some pretty scary late game in just the Ember Spirit. God forbid they pick up another carry like this, MYM are going to have to end this game pretty quickly. Dazzle going to be picked up here now by Roxkiss, so I mean it's just a favorite of Roxkiss. They were one of the first teams to run the Dazzle, and they're a team that has been heavily favoring the Treant Protector. Even when he did fall off for a small period of time, they were still picking him up. So standard supports here so far for Roxkiss. A little lacking in the disable department. That's my biggest issue right now. Is, again, the only disable between these two supports, good disable, is Overgrowth. I really wouldn't count the Poison here as being good disable, mainly because we're dealing with so many mobile heroes that I don't feel that your Poison is going to be good enough. On top of that, you no longer get the mini stun in the beginning from your Poison. So the Dazzle, the Q being just a little bit less effective. So Poison Touch. Just forgetting the name of that ability. So not a whole lot of control right now for the Storm Spirit, which makes me really concerned. I'm trying to think, like, what sort of carry can they be running here that would be able to offer them that kind of control. And the heroes I'm coming up are heroes like Faceless Void, where he is a hero that, while he does a lot sometimes in the early game, I don't feel he's going to be that effective with their synergy right now. We'll see. Jakiro's going to be banned out here. Apparently, MYM feeling that this is going to be a core Dazzle or a core Treant Protector. We've seen both before. Evil Geniuses running the middle Dazzle a couple times in their career, while Treant Protector has been picked up as a core in the past. He was usually picked up as an offlaner. In which case, Ember Spirit would be fulfilling that one role, which is okay. Clinks is now going to be picked up by Meet Your Maker, so even more pickoff potential here. You got just a ton of single target between Storm Spirit already, but then you grab the Clinks as well. That's 2 different Orchid heroes as well. I really love in the way that MYM are drafting this right now. They have completely countered the Ember Spirit without picking up like a really big ultimate like Doom. Right, Doom has been picked up so many times versus an Ember Spirit. I was expecting them to grab that here, honestly. But instead, they go double Orchids here. On top of that, they have a ton of initiation, so they don't even necessarily need Meet Your Makers to be. They don't necessarily need the Storm Spirit or the Clinks to be the ones initiating. They don't need those Orchids up nice and early. If necessary, they could just rely on Sand King or Centaur being able to have their blink. Centaur's a little unreliable just because he has that animation, and if BZZ has a Remnant out, he'll be able to leap away. Roxkiss as their last pick, they went ahead and grabbed Templar Assassin. Now, that wasn't really something I was looking for here. Again, it was just a lack of disable here. Roxkiss, I guess they're just going to be playing ultra defensive. Is how I'm looking at their lineup right now, because with they just have such lack of lockdown on MYM. I don't see how they're going to be able to be aggressive on these heroes. So Roxkiss favoring maybe a little bit more straight damage, a little bit more tank. They do have good team fight synergy here between the vacuum into an overgrowth, and then the splash between both Templar Assassin as well as BZZ, who should be going Battle Fury here. I highly doubt you go any other build as an Ember Spirit 1 when you've got a Darkseer on your side. Crit placing an early ward here, but it was already countered out. Roxkiss was just sitting there waiting for that one, so Crit already at a bit of a disadvantage here. And interesting.
The battle begins.
MYM are doing something pretty funky with their lanes right now. So, we were originally expecting it was just Klink's going to be defensive tri lane. They're going to be farming up with a Sand King. We would have Storm Spirit in the middle lane and Centaur's the off, but instead they're running Centaur as our mid here, going up against the Templar Assassin, maybe feeling that's a bit better matchup, and it's going to be Storm Spirit and the Sand King going up against this tri-lane of a Treant Protector and a Dazzle. Now, I guess they feel like they can get away with this dual lane because we have kind of greedy supports here. Dazzle, I would say, is a pretty greedy support that is easily punished by two or dual or tri-lanes because he's best at harassment. He's not the best at just being able to straight man fight in even scenarios. Poison Touch really shines as a harassment ability. Same goes, Leech Seed is a little bit more better. Jesus, battle. A little bit better as a combat ability, mainly because it gives you a heal as well. Crit, intercepting the pull, nicely done. Cops a little damage here from the Dazzle, but nothing too serious. We do have Solo being run down right now by Ace, and also the loop around here from Rise. If they can force Solo to burn the refraction, he's already used it. He knows there's also going to be an early bottle coming in for Solo. Solo's working so hard to try and pick up those last hits, but Ace doing a pretty decent job here. Now they're going to jump in. Solo, he's running out of those refraction ticks. Rise leads with one hit just to help tick it down a little bit more. Solo comes back. Ace doesn't have the mana just yet for a stun, but he does have that double edge and will be able to finish off Solo right here. Living Armor's coming in. Ace is still not taking it down. He really wants to hit this stun. Now throws in the double edge and gets that first blood. But in the meantime, Cedo made his rotation over. Darkseer being able to finish off that squishy support hero and maybe even go for two. He's going to try and run down Ace. He's going to be diving into the tower if he goes for it. Yeah, Surge just does not last long enough. And is going to be forced back. So a 1-for-1 trade there. Killed the mid, but lost the Shadow Demon for it. On top of that, they got the first blood gold. Well worth the time and effort of the Shadow Demon. So good rotation around. Apologies, guys. I've been recovering from sickness for the last, I feel like the last week and a half. And my voice still occasionally goes out. Solo. Another disruption into the stomp. He should be able to get off refraction, so that's why they want to actually hit him first and then throw down the double edge. Living Armor comes out. They don't want to dive the tower, though. They know it's not going to be worth it. Yol making a rotation over. And that is so smart. What they were doing, the classic combo is just disruption into the stomp there, but what MYM are doing is they're using the illusions as well as just the straight right clicks from their heroes and burning down the refraction before they go for the stomp. That way they actually hit that 150 damage instead of it just being blocked out by the refraction. It's a much more efficient use of your damage. Very, very smart play, as long as you still hit the stomp. That's just the questionable thing. Is maybe you're so busy right-clicking him, he gets far enough ahead that you can't actually catch up and stomp. But as long as that doesn't happen, Going to be a great play. Another refraction. Another stomp. Go. Curry. Run away. Little dodo bird. Got to get out. Melded up. Solo's going to be just fine, though. As Solo was able to get his bottle, apparently. It didn't feel like that little dodo bird got close enough, but sure enough, he did. Apologies, guys, for the sound being a little loud in Dota TV. Unfortunately, with the audio setup that the StarCraft guy here he has, it's just like the in-game audio is going to be running through my microphone, so you may have a little bit of extra sound effects coming your way. So it's all I know. I keep like every single studio. I feel like I'm always making an apology to Dota TV guys, just being like, hey, I got X going on because this isn't the normal studio I work out of. That is not going to be happening for forever. I promise you. We are actually moving upstairs here, I believe, right after the TI4 qualifiers. We are, the upstairs will be finished, and we'll start making that move. Obviously, we won't be able to have 2 studios for Join Dota right away. Well, I say 2. We're going to have definitely 2, and we'll have 3 or 4 available to us as well, if that's ever necessary. But yeah. It won't be like this forever. Godblack looks like they want to try and go in on Arise. He's the squishier hero. Great burrow strike, though, from Crit. And that just might save Arise's life. No, he gets caught by the chain. BZZ was able to get close enough. And, yeah, Storm Spirit just doesn't really work that well in dual lanes. You could see why. Crit, he's trying to get away here. Gets caught up by the Sleight of Fist. He didn't even attempt to throw down a Sandstorm at any point in time. I think he wanted to maybe try and loop around and catch out Yol, but underestimates the damage. Seedoy, oh, perfect timing for that stun, too. Even if Darkseer was, like, super tanky and was able to survive through all that burst damage, hey, most of his surge would have been down by the time he was done being stunned. Now the rotation back to middle. So they're just really prioritizing the Centaur right now and shutting down this Templar Assassin as much as possible. They're going to go for it again. Meld already going off. They really need counter wards here, but Rise is so... Oh, they're still going to go for this. Burrow Strike coming out. Oh, Crit leading with it. They still don't have vision, though. Trying to make it work without vision, man. This is just never going to work out for them. Ace is going to get chased down. Wall even thrown just to be able to pick up that kill. Crit trying to dodge a little bit if he can. Burrow Strike away. Ion Shell's taken down. He's going to be able to chase him down a little bit farther. Solo is going in. He just needs one right click with that refraction damage. Get it to another trap. Crit. He doesn't have a Sandstorm, but a Burrow Strike in time. Gets it on Solo. Continues running away. Cito was able to finish off that Shadow Demon, and no extra rotations are coming in to help out this dive. Finally, we have the Centaur, who is coming back from his death earlier, but a serious mistake there from MYM. They already tried to kill this Templar Assassin once, and it failed due to Meld. Trying it again with more numbers is not going to work if you don't have that counter vision. So that was just a huge mistake, and it results in 3 different heroes going down. MYM, they were doing really well before that, except for the top lane, where Rise is going to get picked off once again. And it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. There's a reason why Storm Spirit is run mid, and pretty much never in any other lane. Occasionally you'll see him like something like a safe lane solo, but it's pretty much always a solo because you need level 6 because you're so damn squishy and very, very easy to gank before that point in time. And not even a Sand King as your babysitter will be able to prevent you from dying over and over again. In fact, I'm surprised now that Ace is level 7. I would think that's all you want is level 7 on a Centaur and have him start moving around a little bit more. But apparently they want to finish up the Blink Dagger first. Get that super aggression for Ace really, really early into the game, and then Storm Spirit will probably go middle, sit there, farm up. In fact, he may even go bottom. If Link is able to pick up a fast enough Orchid, then Storm Spirit can choose that safe lane to start farming up, and both the Clinks and the Centaur will start moving around. So despite the fact that MYM, they did feed away a couple of kills, both in the top lane as well as that middle dive, they have a plan. And it's going to be happening here real soon. They can execute as soon as they have the Orchid, as soon as they have the Blink Dagger. They're going to be going super aggro. And hopefully it leaves Storm Spirit as much free farm as possible because an under-farmed Storm Spirit is like the last thing you really want to see. Take a look at that net worth. You got Link leading right now, Ember Spirit. A good 500 to 600 gold behind right now, solo. Once again, going to try and go on him, but the counter ward doesn't stretch out that far. Ryze does have another one, but again, they're just diving the tower. So not really worth it. You could see right now, Ryze is farming up some stacks because he's so close to level 6, which is also his weakest point in time. It's where teams are going to start putting a lot of pressure on you every single time they see you in lane. So he's trying to get in that extra bit of experience from the jungle. That way he knows he's just going to feed away another death if he goes top. That's all there is to it. Bottom lane, Seedoy fighting up against Link. Link will pick up the kill, though. Despite the fact that the wall was used, Ryze feeds himself over to the neutrals. Probably bought everything before he went down. Decided it was just a little bit faster, considering how low level he is. So now Clinks, he was 500 gold ahead of the Ember Spirit before. Now he's a full 1,000 gold and quickly getting that Blink Dagger. Just another 500 gold and he'll have it. Great timing for him. And then they can just start shutting down the Ember Spirit. And honestly, once they've shut down the Ember Spirit, let's move away from the Sandstorm so it stops making that noise. Once they've killed, once they've shut down the Ember Spirit, Rock's Kiss don't really go anywhere from there. Templar Assassin is a really, really great semi-carry in the mid lane, and if you're far enough ahead, you actually make you can take over the carry role. You could take over that one position, but you're not gonna be good enough. I don't feel. You really need this Ember Spirit to be pretty farmed because that's what their whole entire, like, they need that Battle Fury up in order to make the vacuum more effective, because if you don't have that damage, then you don't have any AoE. Like, there's nothing else that's happening during that vacuum time. You know, there's no Sand King stun, Centaur stun, Leshrac, Lina, any of those heroes with decent AoE stuns. Rock's Kiss has none of that. All they have is Overgrowth. That's the only AoE. I'm going to use stun here in quotes. It's not quite a true stun. It's a snare. But it's the only stun that they have, and it does no damage. And that's where the Ember Spirit was supposed to come in, is with that Battle Fury, with them being held in place, his Sleight of Fist was supposed to be able to do a ton of damage if he has Battle Fury. If he doesn't have Battle Fury, it's just normal ticks of damage, and it's not going to be that effective. Crit's going to get caught out here. They do have the counter ward there. Slowed up by the last little bit of Leech Seed, and will get the kill for BZZ. And he certainly looks to be going that Battle Fury build. I mean, obviously, it's not too surprising. Go Black here. Gets a pretty early medallion. I like that. I like a medallion. I can't say I've seen it too often here on Treant Protector. Dust does catch out Crit. He's trying to Burrow Strike away. He knows he needs the distance away from that Sleight of Fist and Searing Chains combo. Because once he's caught by that, there's a good chance he's dead. So moving out. Does Link have it yet? He's about to. He's about to. Meanwhile, they're going to be pushing in the middle lane. We have the Storm Spirit joining up with the Centaur. Storm Spirit Arise is now level 6, so now he does finally have that escape mechanism. When everything does go down, when Rock's Kiss try and gank him, he at least has a little bit extra survivability. Good draw away there from Ace with the illusions. Bring in the wave back, but we do have a lot of teleports coming in. Solo, Seedoy, as well as Go Black. Hell, the whole entire team here for Rock's Kiss joins together, and they're going to defend this tower. I thought they were just going to go for the deny here, but they do have living armor. It's level 3, so if they actually commit a couple of heroes here in a short amount of time, it will be up to half health, and then they could probably leave it alone. And, hey, if you're going to be sitting in this middle lane, what better thing to do than Roshan? You've got a Templar Assassin. You're on the Dire side. They've got a big Roshan advantage right now. MYM continue their push in. The last living armor was not used on the tower. It was helping out Solo here, who's taking a lot of damage. Looks like they will give up this tower in exchange for taking Roshan. Ace. Oh, he's jumping into the pit, man. He's going deep. He falls immediately, but he sees everybody. Link is going to be taking a lot of damage here, catched out by the dust. He's going to fall as well. The rest of his team really just not prepared for that kind of manly-ass move. And now Roshan will be taken down. I think Roshan for a tier 1 tower, especially when you're dealing with the Treant Protector, I'm okay with that trade. But now that they just fed away 2 kills and 2 kills on their highest farmed carries, their cores, serious mistake there from MYM. Like, I feel like MYM drafted really well. They started the laning phase out. Like, it was kind of questionable, the whole Storm Spirit thing, but you could see where they were going with it. Which was, we're going to get a fast Orchid on Klinks. We're going to get a fast Blink Dagger on Centaur. And then you can have all the time in the world, Arise, to farm up any of those other lanes. So you could see a plan. Maybe some of you don't agree with it, but it's their plan, and, you know, God damn it, they can make it work. But if they just made a couple mistakes here. The top lane feeding, not that big of a deal, right? You kind of expect it from the dual lanes. It happened pretty late. They were getting a lot of experience. They fed away 2 kills on Arise. Crit died once or twice in lane as well. Once in lane, if I recall. Like, that's not that big of a deal. Considering the advantage you were supposed to get in the other lanes. It was the mid dive when MYM lost 3 heroes in their attempt to kill the Templar Assassin without vision, as well as that jump into the pit that I feel have been the biggest disappointments here for MYM. Like, they threw away, I would say they threw away at least a good 5,000 gold between those two. BZZ caught out by the first set. Oh, good Shallow Grave. And Orchid will tick out before Shallow Grave is done, meaning he will survive. And that Dazzle is going to have to be sitting on Ember Spirit left, right, and center, because you know Link, with that straight physical damage plus the disable of Orchid, Ember Spirit is pure food for him. And they're so close to that Battle Fury too. Not bad timing. Roxkiss, they're going to have a Battle Fury Bracer. I like just the plain Bracer here. I think that was a very, very important choice. It slows down your Battle Fury a little bit, but that's all right. Seedoy may get caught out here. Link, they're going to slow him down. Purge will ensure that Link gets enough. Oh, wow. Look at that mech heal. He will still fall, though, as the Purge was able to clean him up. Yeah, they're trying to go in on Yol. Going to burst him down real quickly. We do have some heroes coming in. Ember Spirit, he starts going in on Link. Link just lost his damage. He just lost his extra bit of health there from the death pack, but fortunately, with the disruption as well as the Centaur ultimate. Oh, man, that is so unfortunate when that happens. When they start going on you and you lose your death pact. Now, he was fortunate that he took a good amount of damage before the death pact went down, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But if you've ever been in that situation as it Klinks, where you lose your death pact as someone jumps you, it is the worst thing in the world, because you go from being like really tanky to really squishy in just half a second. And then they just wail into you. Ace is sitting on the side here, but we have both the Ember Spirit as well as the Templar Assassin. You can't really take this fight. Roxkiss, the rest of them are going to be joining him. They're just going to 5-man down bottom. And in the meantime, well, Sand King's just picked up his Blink Dagger, but he doesn't have the mana to be able to defend. So it looks like they're just going to try and go for a trade here, but I don't think they'll even get that much. They'll push in middle to a little damage to the tier 2. They'll do a significant chunk to this tier 1, but there should be teleports in time. Look at it. They've already killed the tier 1 tower, and now they can start teleporting in. Or maybe Roxkiss go deep. Maybe they make an even better trade for themselves and take tier 2 in exchange, tier 1 and tier 2 in exchange for a tier 1. And a little bit of damage on this tier 2 middle. They can heal up the tier 2 middle with the living armor, so that's not going to be that big of an issue. I like this play. Roxkiss getting themselves a large chunk of gold here. I'm interested to see whether or not it looks like we're seeing like the race car Templar Assassin. Glyph being used in this middle lane in order to... this really hurts the Klinks too. He wasted most of his strafe on Glyph. And now it's just going to be healed up by living armor. Smart play here from Roxkiss. Now going to finish off Arise. BZZ catches them out as they teleport in. And Arise going to teleport away as well before he gets caught. Anyway, it looks like we're going to be seeing this race car build from Templar Assassin, where you go phase boots Yasha into drums. It's an interesting build that we're seeing more and more of. Less Blink Dagger, surprisingly. Less Blink Dagger, and more Yasha drums. Well, okay, maybe just the BKB first. Templar Assassin. I mean, this could be a Desolator, but oh, Epicenter actually went down in middle. I didn't really think he was going to go in there because he's all by himself, and sure enough, he doesn't kill anybody. Like, you have Flame Guard here for BZZ. You've got Refraction for Solo, and Treant Protector is tanky as hell. I have no idea why Crit tried to go in there. Maybe he was calling for more backup, but nobody teleported in time. It certainly would have been a good setup if you had 2 or 3 teleports off the back of it. But MYM, just it seems like their coordination, their decision-making process and coordination is really what's killing them right now. Stun in. We're going to see them going on Cedo. They're going to be able to burst him down, but can they kill anybody off that? Cedoy, is he going to take out from the Orc? And man, that mech plus living armor. It is just absurd. You just like heal up a bunch of extra damage. I guess that's really why Roxkiss wanted to be able to pick that up. Shadow Demon got picked off in middle, but this top lane, they're going to go in on BZZ. They get the stun there from Crit. That instant stun from Burrow Strike is a great disable versus an Ember Spirit. But yeah, middle lane, it looks like Solo killed the Shadow Demon. He is going to be going for a BKB. And that makes so much sense because we're dealing with double Orchids here. We're dealing with a large share of magic damage. It's probably way more important than picking up drums. Link is going to be seen here, but he's right now has Death Pact. He's sitting at 1,600 health. They may try and go on Crit, but again, where's their hold on this Sand King? Like, even if Solo does get off a big Meld Strike or something, they have no extra hold to keep the Sand King there long enough for them to kill him. So they're just going to back up. Roxkiss continue farming, trying to get that second Battle Fury up for BZZ. And honestly, MYM pretty far behind here, I feel. Like, it's 6-13. They are certainly behind in, well, wow. I'm surprised here that they're not behind in Golden Experience. I know they picked up a lot of Tower Gold, and that's great. But Roxkiss have done a really good job trading. Like, it's 4 towers down right now for Roxkiss, and all the outer tier 1s are down for MYM. So they've made good trades here on the side of Roxkiss. Well, actually, hold up. I forgot they took that tier 2 bottom, so it's actually equal. Godblack in some trouble. He's going to go down. Another pick off here for MYM. Popping the Centaur ultimate to get away. The trap won't be able to slow him down, but BZZ will. As he gets the chain, Epicenter goes down in the back. There goes all the refraction charges, but he didn't do as much damage. The wall goes down. Ace as well as Sand King will lose their lives. BZZ and the rest of his guys, man, they're just too damn tanky. It seems like Roxkiss, every single time they go in, they have all this pick-off potential, but there's always like Shallow Grave, Shadow Wave, Living Armor, Mech. Roxkiss are staying really, really grouped up here, and it's why they're not so far ahead in gold. Even though they picked up way more kills, they're shutting down MYM's attempts to gank them. MYM are still pretty even on gold, and that's because MYM most of the time is way more spread. Roxkiss are staying very, very grouped up, and because of that, they have a large share of net worth on just 2 heroes, which is your Ember Spirit and your Templar Assassin, while the gold may be a little bit more spread for MYM, as you have the 3 different cores all being decently farmed. Arise beginning to catch up. He's trying to farm up. They're going on Cedo right now, but again, he has that mech, and not going to be able to pick up the kill. We also have Ember Spirit being able to finish off the Shadow Demon. Crit unable to save his ally. And BZZ, once he gets that second Battle Fury up, they're good to go, and I can't believe Arise actually went down there. Didn't realize he did not have enough mana. Simply chased down by the Darkseer. Meanwhile, in the lane, Link running out of his Windwalk there. Excuse me, Skeleton Walk. And honestly, I think Rockskiss have this in the bag now. They've gotten, even though they've, like, I think they did a really brilliant job in their draft shutting down a Ember Spirit carry. They only have the one. Oh, well, actually, they did get the second Orchid now for Rise, but even with the 2 Orchids, it seems like BZZ only really needs 1 hit of Sleight of Fist to give his team enough of an advantage. He gets off 1 Sleight of Fist with 2 Battle Furies, and everybody is tanking a huge chunk of damage. And then at that point, it's okay if BZZ gets disabled because the rest of his team can do damage. Roshan going to be taken out once again by Rockskiss and MYM. Another, like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just kind of rookie mistakes here that are easily ironed out. MYM, if they can get these kind of errors under control, I think they would look like a really good team. But just not really taking control out of that Roche pit, despite the fact that they're the ones supposed to be the aggressors right now. They didn't have any vision for the movement into the Roche pit, and because of it, Rockskiss pick up the second Roche of the game, as well as the Aegis, which is going to be able to give them a significant advantage here in the next team fight. Like, even if BZZ does get Orchided up and killed now, he's going to come right back in. So what do? Do you Orchid him but not kill him? That's not a great idea. But it might just be better than actually killing him during that Orchid timing, and not focusing your damage on someone else who will die permanently in the team fight. Tier 3 damage, taking a lot of tower. You cannot let a Clinks, man, get close to your towers. Strafe plus Searing Arrows does an insane amount of damage. Only 2 heroes right now, but I mean, it's the only hero that they need. With Shallow Grave just ready to go off at a moment's notice. Well, Treant Protector gets caught out, but once again, no vision. Another issue. Now Crit's going to be held out. Overgrowth is going to be able to hold him in place long enough for BZZ to finish him off. Centaur ultimate went out, but everyone else from MYM able to get away from Rockskiss. And now it's Rockskiss, I feel, that are doing a lot more split pushing. MYM need to commit so many heroes in their attempts to find these pickoffs that they're actually staying really grouped up here. And Rockskiss are feeling better and better about doing this sort of thing, where Solo goes solo. That was completely unintended. Solo goes to the bottom lane all by himself because he has a BKB. What's there to stop him? Like, the only thing that can stop him right now is the instant stun of Burrow Strike. And then they chain their disables off of that. Otherwise, it's going to be a simple BKB teleport out. BKB, okay, now going to be held up by the stun. They can get the pull off. Finally, he does get off the BKB. Starts going for Rise. It's his first BKB, so it's going to be able to last a while. He does a little bit of damage and then teleports away before it takes out. Draws a lot of attention. Puts some damage there on MYM. And that just means the rest of his allies free to push in the top lane a little bit more. Do some damage to this tier 2. It might be at a trade, though. Link is running middle, having to deal with living armor. It's now going to go on Solo here. Solo playing this pretty ballsy since he doesn't have a BKB, but he knows the refraction charges save him enough damage that he can play aggressive like that. MYM have to win this team fight. They have to win a fight somehow because they're just losing more and more ground now. The ultimate being popped by the Centaur, jumping in on BZZ, but he has that Aegis. Remember that one. Mech going off, and all of a sudden Rockskiss fully healed, and there goes that Battle Fury hit. The vacuum and 3 of them caught out inside and just torn apart by that Battle Fury spam. Rise is going to die to the last tick of Sleight of Fist, and only 2 heroes, Arise as well as Link, are going to be able to get away. And Rockskiss now going to be able to push uphill. 26 minutes in, they've taken full control of this game. And the heavily gank-oriented early to mid-game lineup from MYM has now fallen by the wayside. It just does not do anything. I was concerned. I was rather concerned here from Rockskiss about their lack of disables, but it didn't prove to be a big issue. They actually went in on middle here, trying to go in on Solo with the Orchid, but immediately Yo, Epicenter going down. Maybe they can kill Yol in time. He gets off the Shallow Grave, and now the fight's over. They couldn't kill the Dazzle, and that just means more Shadow Waves are going to come out. Nobody's going to die on the side of Roxkiss. The mech pickup from the Darkseer's just done so much work for Roxkiss's team. They're going to take 2 sets of racks. They're just not. There's no damage. There's not enough damage to go out. That is even putting a dent in their health. It's always upset by Shadow Wave, Leech Seed, Mech, something like that. They're all staying at full health right now. Not too long ago, Yol went down to 1 health with Shallow Grave on. He's now full health and sitting on the back, just waiting for the initiation. Ace is going to go in, hit the double stun. Immediately, though, the Weave is the response, combined with the Shadow Wave. Pulling back BZZ, he's going to lose his Aegis, but he'll come right back. Meantime, Ace being chased down by Solo. Going to be able to get that big melt strike and that Weave. Oh, that Weave ticking down his armor. So unfortunate. Rise going to go down as well as BZZ gets nice and close. Didn't finish off the burn damage, but Templar Assassin gets the last auto attack. Solo's going to fall here. Orchid, auto attacks. They should have everything. Living armor. Oh my god, living armor Shadow Wave every single time, man. Roxkiss played their combo so damn well. So, GG is called by MYM in this first game in their 2-game series up against Roxkiss. Very well played by Roxkiss. I can't help feeling that they were a little bit lucky that the Storm Spirit was not in the mid-roll. Just because I felt like the lack of stuns was a big issue, specifically up against the Storm Spirit. Lack of stuns versus other heroes like Clinks and like Sand King and Centaur, those are definitely, problematic, but it's really up against the Storm Spirit that it becomes the worst. But because of the fact that MYM decided to run their aggro dual lanes and it didn't really pan out for them, Storm Spirit was really not effective all game long. He was 0-4-0. He was not a part of a single kill there. That's what happens when you don't run Storm Spirit in that mid. I don't know, maybe if they just didn't make as many mistakes with their Centaur, like the jump into the Roche pit, the dive into the middle lane, and that wasn't just Ace either. That was a large share of MYM. That was just in general their decision-making process. Maybe if they don't make those errors, they can actually more actively shut down heroes like Ember Spirit with just the Clinks as the Centaur, and maybe Storm Spirit could have come back into the game. But because they made those errors in the early game, they gave away their whole entire advantage that they built up, and quickly Roxkiss just able to end the game. So we're going to move on to Game 2, guys. Short commercial break, and we'll be back with Game 2 of MYM versus Roxkiss.